Against the ropes, number one.
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
A wise man once called it the theater of the unexpected, and the description stuck because of everything that was revealed.
That is a flat-out knockout. This is a picture that doesn't need any captions.
The fearlessness of the fighters,
What a statement.
their capacity for the seemingly impossible,
Unbelievable.
the humanity amid such brutality.
There's nowhere else in sport you'll find greater passion, greater intensity, greater courage, greater commitment, greater sheer guts. This is boxing at its best.
For more than 45 years, the understanding was simple. If you wanted to watch boxing's most legendary nights, you turned the channel to HBO.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian Mosqueda and Christian Rodriguez. How are we doing today?
Doing good. Ready to get this episode popping.
Ring the bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about once again. We're going to start off with HBO. Right, you guys were there this past weekend, December something. You guys were there. How was it? HBO's final show, right? HBO Boxing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely something we were not gonna miss for sure. I know HBO was going up against, the man in boxing, Lomachenko. But like I told you guys earlier, I was like, there's plenty of Lomachenko to go around. This is HBO's final show, and we had to be there.
Man.
Had to be there. So, yeah, a little disappointed, right, Chris? That there wasn't a lot of people there. You know, the way we kind of expected there to be a little bit more fans in attendance. But then again, it wasn't. There was not a lot of big names, recognizable names. And so, I mean, it was a little disappointing that there wasn't a lot of people. But you know what, we were there and we had to pay our respects.
Yeah, when I was watching your footage, I was like, dude, what happened to the people?
For real. Like, I know it's cold, but man,
It's not that cold in Southern California.
for real.
And it was actually here, right?
Yeah,
At the StubHub Center. Like,
And I love it when fights are here.
less than
because
half a mile away from us.
I love when the fights are here because, I park my car right here at the university and just walk right over. No parking, not having to pay for parking. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that kind of sucks about this last HBO card. Because given the fact that the StubHub always has that recognition that there's always brawl-out fights.
Yeah.
It has that reputation that all the big fights happen, like Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan,
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Matiz versus Postol, Triple G's, several fights fighting there. But this one didn't actually have any, even during the undercards, it didn't have that type of like volume of like high expectation of power punches or big knockouts or anything like that. It was more like a meeting of boxing. You're just there just to attend, even though there was like good fighters like Clarissa Shields, Cecilia, and Estrada. But the whole focus was not even on the fighters, right? It was just basically the focus on the three men, Roy Jones Jr., Jim Lampy, Max Kellerman, and also special guests of Larry Merchant entering the commentating studio. So even after you saw the fights being done, all the media people just started running towards them just to try record the last few moments of all of them being together, like televising their last few events. And you took anything away from that, Chris?
Yeah, man. It was an emotional moment. I mean, you just see the passion on all these guys' faces. Just what HBO meant to them, and then just being part of, all these fighters' journeys. Yeah, it was definitely an emotional moment. We got to, see grown men, just kind of break down, and just a testament to, the power of HBO. And
Who, Chris or Jim Lampley?
it was a little bit of everybody. But yeah, I was like, we were talking earlier, Chris. We didn't get to see the actual, the actual HBO with all the highlights and the montages of, of past fights. But man, that was powerful stuff.
Any anything that stood out in particular from the fights? We'll just get that out the way.
Anything, Chris?
I think the fights usually demonstrate the type of class we have for the women's divisions. Specifically speaking, Clarissa Shields and Cecilia. So, Lady Christina Hammer was outside the ring, so more than likely you're gonna see Clarissa Shields fight Christina Hammer sometime next year. So that's probably like the biggest fight you can make in women's boxing right now. And I know we're gonna talk about like top 5 pound for pound fighters like later on during the end of this month, but I think just out of respect, we should also do that for women's boxing. Just because I think women's boxing is going to grow next year for sure. But other than that, I mean, Estrada more than likely may try to look for that rematch against Soren B-side. But other than that, it's really hard to take away anything from the fights, Gio. Honestly, it was just basically the focus on the commentators.
Yeah, it was mostly a showcase for the...
Yeah, and you guys can watch a lot of the footage on our YouTube channel, Against the Ropes Podcast, because you guys got some good footage, including something very interesting.
Yeah, so I was actually going to keep this a secret, but I didn't know if any of you were going to participate in coming to the fight on Saturday. So I was well aware, Chris, before you texted in the group message that Alejandro, the judge from Deontay Wilder versus Fury,
111.
who scored at 115 and 111 in favor of Deontay Wilder, was actually going to not just be there for ringside to judge just one fight, but he was there to commentate, to score 2 fights. And specifically speaking, he was going to be there for the main event. And I wanted to basically confront him and ask him, that question that I haven't seen anybody from Showtime.
Just anybody in general. If they mess up in their job, they'll probably get like suspended or write-up or some type of consequence, right? But this man was working the next week.
And not just working anyone. He was working the HBO final show.
Yeah, the final show.
Right. And that's the thing about weather people, right? You can watch the weather. They can have all the data, and then they can get the weather wrong the next day. They still keep their jobs, right? That's the same thing with judges in the boxing. They score the same fights. The next thing you know, they still keep the job. So, and honestly, Chris, and a lot of my friends, too, have been noticing, when I talk about boxing, they always question how long I'm going to last in this sport, covering this sport, because honestly, I don't see anybody investigate or confront. I've never seen anybody confront a judge about a scorecard ever in my life, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a taboo thing. It's kind of like unspoken, like you're not supposed to do it.
And you know why?
It's like,
why do you think so, Chris? Because I'm gonna go off right now. But
why do I think?
Yeah, why do you think, Chris? And why do you think, Joe? Because I'm about to go off in a bit.
Yeah, there's a few things. Obviously, one of them is access. If you rub the wrong people the wrong way, you're not gonna get access, and that's one. Another one is like,
well, I thought you were meaning like access to an actual judge. Because you don't see these guys around. Either way.
Also
they don't give interviews. They don't come out on TV.
Yeah, they're
like referees for professional sports.
Yeah, they just leave right after. We hardly ever see them stick around. One of them is that. The other one is people don't like to, upset the apple cart. They don't want to make enemies. They don't want to, especially with the dark side that we talk about. They don't want to. That's another one. You, Gio? What do you think?
I don't know. I think one reason is just people are just so used to it that it's not even a thing anymore. But other than that, I don't know.
Chris?
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it in the head. I think, and I'm not trying to, I know we have people who cover the sport who do reporting, but this is not just about me bashing on them, but obviously, me covering the sport, I'm not here to make friends, dude. Honestly, and the thing is, with reporters, I get it. You're trying to befriend people and try to get access at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you don't get access, because you need credentials. And some part of your way of doing the job is that you got to be friendly, right? Well-liked. And sometimes, even you yourself, Chris, let me talk about this story with you, Gio, all right? Chris, were you nervous?
To get to this guy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I want to say a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I would have been like a lion in a cage, dude. I would have
Yeah.
been like Algeria, just let me out the cage.
Yeah. You went. Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it might not turn out right like Algeria.
But why did you feel a little bit nervous?
Because of what I just said. Not wanting to just show up ways, but at the same time, it's like I know it's necessary. it's like what I learned in journalism. You know, we're here to be like the medium. You know, we're here to get the information out. We're not here to, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like that's most people doing
Yeah.
the reporting, because if you see these interviews, that's why I don't really watch any of the interviews, because it's like the same questions over and over, and it's just like, you know, you can talk shit about someone like on shows like this and behind their back, but once you're interviewing them, like most people are just like, they turn soft, dude. They don't ask the questions they should be asking.
So yeah, Chris, I was nervous, but at the same time, I was like, we need to do it. We need to do a public service here.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I think, Chris, what I'm trying to emphasize is that when you feel nervous or scared about doing stuff like this, you have to consider the fact that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're doing the right thing, dude.
So
So,
fireman, we stay in the kitchen.
yep. And the thing is, I already knew that he was going to score the last fight, and we were talking about whether or not we should do it like right away, away. And then I was telling, let's confront him as soon as we have time. And Chris was telling me, hey, you should ask him
A soft question.
A soft question.
You know, reel him in.
Yeah, reel him in. Nope, Gio.
Chris
I
is
was
like,
like,
nah.
no.
Yeah, we're talking about that too, because it would have just been a funny reaction. Like,
Yeah.
you ask him something and he'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. And then once you ask him the real question,
You'd have been like,
seeing
oh.
him walk away, you know, it would just show you the polar opposites, right? The ends of the spectrum. Like when you ask him a question that doesn't put him against the ropes, and then another question that is actually tough for him to answer.
And we have our special guests in the house.
This guy doesn't mind answering any questions.
What's happening?
Hey.
We talking about me or we talking about my pops?
So put on the headsets. This one right here.
I got one of the baddest dudes in boxing with me.
All right.
Goes by the name of Frog Dogg.
Frog Dogg.
He's actually my secret to being able to whoop on Bivol during sparring. I'm kidding, Bivol, but you know I whooped that ass that last week, Bivol.
Hey, show us the tape later on. I know
I
you
know.
got it. I know you got it.
Oh, and they wouldn't let us do it. Every time we started.
I know you still got it.
I'm
just kidding.
The tape is in
I'm
my
just kidding.
mind.
Hey, after the show, we'll talk.
Joe, you want to fill him in on what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, so we have Anthony Sims in the building. Anthony Sims Jr.,
And,
the magician.
can I give him the government name or no? And Frog Dogg, my pops.
Frog Dogg. How we doing tonight?
We doing great.
Doing
good.
all good?
Yeah, we're doing great.
Hey, there you go.
All right, so we had got the show started. We're talking about HBO's final show. You guys have any thoughts on that?
You guys want to make me talk on that?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Well, I mean, you can talk about.
After I just said this man will answer any question.
All right. I mean, I am. I say if you want me to talk about it, I will. So actually, it was crazy because the promoter of the show, his name is Tom something. I can't think of his name.
Tom Loafer.
Yeah, him. I was talking to some people, and they was like, so what do you think about the show? I was like, man, this show sucks. And Tom was a part of the group. It was Tom, Kevin Kelly, and this other guy I knew from Minnesota. And he says, well, what do you know about boxing? I said, I know a little bit. He's like, you ever fought before? I was like, kinda. He's like, well, then you don't need to speak on this. I was like, well, I got somebody to speak on it for me. And he's like, who? Who the hell can speak on boxing for you on your behalf? I was like, my promoter, Eddie Hearns.
Uh-oh. Now, who was this, Tom?
This was Tom. I didn't know Tom was a
He hasn't been
promoter.
doing his
Wow.
homework, huh?
Man, he didn't know.
He doesn't watch his own?
He didn't know the magician.
Come on. Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom.
What was his reaction?
Well, because of the pigment of his skin, his face turned red.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Absolutely.
You were there too, right?
Yes, I was. Surprisingly. No, yeah. Eddie Hearns, my promoter, he left me tickets. So he popped up.
I'm glad to hear there was actually people there.
Yeah, it was, man. You know, it's upsetting, you know, for HBO boxing to be such a big thing on a global level, and then for that to be the last show. Some people say it was a great way they went out, which was small and just family. Others say, you know, for it to be such a big name, it shouldn't have went out that way. It's like Floyd's last fight being against a 14-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not taking shots at you, Floyd, for about to fight a kickboxing guy, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But something interesting happened during that show. So I'm pretty sure you watched the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight, right?
Oh, man, we talk about that? What?
We will talk about it.
Oh, my God.
We talked about it last week.
What do you think-
I know you had a lot to say.
What do you think about that fight, Pops?
You don't watch our show?
Yeah.
Well, it was garbage.
Ooh.
Wow. Who made it garbage?
It was boo over rice.
Boo-boo over rice. That's a food that shouldn't be eaten. Eaten. Yes.
It was
But,
garbage.
what was your question, Christian? The Christian.
Oh, so what'd you think about the judging in that fight?
Yeah.
The judging of Mr. Alejandro.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that was a referee, well, a judge at the fight too. His name is Stevie Wonder, and he gave the fight to Fury. He said, hands down, man. And he said, even I can see Fury won the fight.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
saw Fury winning.
Absolutely. Like I said, you want to give it to him because he's a good guy and because of the fight that he won outside of boxing, no
Mhm.
mental
Yeah.
illness. But if you're actually a true boxing fan, you understand that one knockdown doesn't change the fight.
Yeah.
It may change the momentum,
Or
but
two.
it doesn't change the
Mhm.
outcome. Or
Even two
Yeah,
knockdowns.
two. I
Yeah.
mean, two. And that man got up from something he shouldn't have got up on. And I gotta say this because of all the boxing fans that's commenting right now. They started the 8 count late and they're on Wilder's side. You can't start the 8 count until the opponent is in the neutral corner. So that's why you don't celebrate and taunt.
This fool was over here dancing.
Yeah, you're
blowing
dancing and
kisses.
you're percolating and doing whatever you're doing and moonwalking. You got to get back to the corner because as soon as you get to the corner, they can start the count.
I had never heard anybody before complain about the count by the referee.
They only complained about they didn't complain about it when Wilder was hurt by Kong.
Right.
That
Yeah.
count was 20 seconds.
Yep.
But you didn't hear that from me.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Stevie Wonder said it. Was 20 seconds.
You should bring him on someday.
I will. I gotta find him first.
Yeah.
Or you gotta find you.
If he's alone, oh, you're going to help.
Yeah, we even
All
talked
right.
about like mathematically it was just not possible. And
Yeah.
even with those two knockdowns.
That was
it's
tough, but we brought that up to
What?
say Mr. Alejandro Rochin was actually there last
Mhm.
weekend at
Where?
the last HBO
HBO
show.
Oh yeah,
show.
he told me
Yeah.
he had witness protection next to him, right?
Maybe before we got to
I
him.
confronted him.
We confronted.
Maybe
You
before
did?
we got to
Yeah,
him.
we got
Oh,
footage.
man, I know you
We have the
scared.
we have the
No, I
video on
wasn't.
YouTube as well.
You have on YouTube. What do you say?
What do you say, Chris?
He's like,
He
no.
said-
He's like, no, I can't answer questions. And as soon as he did that, I just told him, how did you have it for Wilder 115, 111? And
Mhm.
just turned around and just walked away
Really?
and left
Yeah.
the stadium.
I heard a different story.
Oh, what'd you hear?
The video's
I
there.
heard you said something and you said no, and then he said no me diga que no.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's funny, Anthony, because like we actually looked them up and after after the Wilder fight, we're like, he's probably not gonna work. No, we looked them up. He had that the HBO gig, and so that's when me and
No
Chris
days
talked
off,
about
man.
it.
I don't believe they would give him another opportunity. Like me and my pops, we talked about
Yeah.
the fight as soon as it happened. He talked to me about the judging. What do you think about it, pops?
Yeah.
So he can tell you what he told to me, as far as that judge judging the fight and giving it 50-50.
Well, I thought Wilder really lost.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder got to pick up his boxing skills, period.
Yeah.
Other than that, the next fight he might get knocked out.
He's like 31 years old. Do you see probably Wilder like upgrading his skills for the next fight? Is there anything he could do?
Nah, he's set.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
He's set in his ways.
Mm-hmm. This is something he should have learned. Like
He should have learned that long
yeah.
time ago.
Yeah.
so. It seems like he only has that puncher's chance and.
Puncher's chance.
Man.
He has no boxing
He's
skills.
what you call a one-trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
One
This is like
trick.
exactly what we said last week, right? But yeah, that's pretty crazy. How many rounds did you guys give Wilder, if
I gave
any?
3, if that.
Yeah, that's all.
I gave him the 2 rounds that he won when he knocked the boy down. That's it.
Even then, we thought those were pretty close rounds.
It was pretty
So,
close. I mean, even the knockdown 8-10
Yeah,
round.
but I mean, it's automatic for judges. They just easy 10-8.
That's why you
know?
should make judges, or for instance, I never speak on things I don't understand
Mhm.
or know I've been a part of. Judges shouldn't be judges if they never boxed
Yep.
in a ring or know anything of boxing. That's why I
Right.
respect you guys for going and boxing and being judges, because you have that, what do you call it, that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can't tell me how to play center. You're 5'2" and never played basketball. That's the equivalent to it. So, and me and my pops, we're going in hard about it, because at the end of the day, skills pay the bills, and
Mm-hmm.
skills don't come overnight. Wilder's not going to get them skills overnight. It's not even because the name Wilder. It could be anybody.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Anthony, there was I saw this post the other
Brother
day.
Anthony.
Brother Anthony.
Let
There
us
was-
pray.
there was this post I saw the other day where someone suggested like retired boxers should be judges. You have that would kind of fix the problem, at least to some degree.
It depends on the boxers. Some of them are so punchy, man. Like, no, you do not want them ringside. It really depends on the fighters.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea. You know, especially a lot of boxers in the old school days. Anybody that's been around boxing knows that those fighters aren't taken care of the way they should be because of the time period they came in.
Yeah.
They didn't, whether they weren't compensated correctly or they didn't take care of their money. It'd be a perfect opportunity to put them in a position where they can do what they love and make a living from it.
Do you think besides that, that technology should be incorporated as far as the judging too, like a replay or anything like that?
I mean, they have replays and all that, but at the end of the day, man, it come down to if it's not broke, don't fix it. So the old school way of what made people become champions, they should go by the same rules. No, the same rules that made Ali a champion, Sugar Ray Leonard a champion, Evander Holyfield a champion. Don't change it now because we have technology and other things.
I think that'd be good for boxing if they do change. Just check the knockdown.
Yeah, okay. As far as
the
that,
real knockdowns. Yeah. Other than that,
I mean, and be able to overturn decisions, maybe that, because, you had corrupt people. I'm not going to say names, but, you had referees and people betting on fights, stopping fights prematurely because they had money bet on the fight. If you could replay those fights right then and there, it might be a different outcome. Slips, headbutts, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as just the scoring, need to have people in there who's been there, done that.
Yeah. So, Anthony, for the HBO show on Alejandro Chin, we actually got it on camera and we actually uploaded it, and we were talking about how sometimes some of the media, they're afraid to ask these tough questions or to confront certain judges.
Yeah.
For X reason. But I feel like we're trying to do that. We're gonna upset a few people, but you know what? We understand that boxing is a business and there's people with interests. Yeah. But we're here to just upset the card a little bit, because at the end of the day, these are people's lives on the line, and they are fighting, for this decision, and for it to be overturned after you do the job is not okay.
I hear you, brother Christian.
No, because seriously, Tyson Fury, we know he's at times not mentally stable.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that can push him over in this situation.
What if this, basically the decision of one man can change lives?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same way, man, with the actual legal system. The swipe of a pen can create someone's life or break it. And with your saying, Christian, my mom always raised me to say the unspoken. Unspoken is a place in between two people. Something that you want to say, that you feel the need to say, but you won't because of emotions or either respect. So a lot of times people want to say it because there's not enough room in one room for emotions and honesty. But sometimes you got to tell the people what they need to hear, whether they feel like they want to hear it or they feel like they don't need to hear it.
I told Chris was the one recording, and I'm the one who confronted him, and I was telling him if he was feeling nervous and scared, and he's like, yeah. And I told him I told him
at first to do it, but I knew we had to do it.
No, but I told Chris, like, when you have those feelings, that's when you know you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. Exactly. Like that hot chick. I'm kidding.
There he goes.
Frog Dogg, back me up.
That's good.
I'm just as nervous as
you. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like the times where people created change in this world or ripple effect, they were nervous about it. I did my IFL interview, or I took the time to pay my dues to people with mental illness, people with identity crisis. But I was nervous as hell because I don't know how this world's going to react or how they're going to hear me or feel me. But shit, somebody got to do it. Yeah. Brother Christian, do you hear me?
Hey. I hear you.
Like the time.
Padre
it just takes me back to
Padre Christian. Gracias, Papa Dios, para dia.
It takes me back to the what Jim was talking about, Chris. When he first interviewed for HBO, he said that he was nervous, he was shaking.
He was.
But it's because he was in the right place. He said he was just
the right place at the right time. Christian, how do you say his name? Alexandro
Roshin.
Oh man, that guy, I don't even know his name. It's just you can't play people's lives like that. Whether you meant to or not. Everybody has a conscience, regardless of what ethnicity you come back or what ethical background. He knows something felt off when he made that decision.
Have you thought about that? Like, maybe in the future when you're in one of your boxing fights, that maybe some judge may score a...
Yeah.
How's that going to process your mind when that happens?
So you guys want to know a story? All right. So I was over in Armenia. I got disqualified in the junior world championships.
Who'd you bite this time?
I didn't bite him. Actually, I body slammed him and stumped him LA style. Yeah. So I kept getting elbowed in the head, and at the time I was really close friends with 50 Cent because I was out there with Floyd Mayweather. So 50 Cent, we're good friends. He flew my mother. Yeah, get the strap. He flew my mother in Armenia for me, And me and my mother have a very close connection, like me and Frog Dogg. I can see them outside the ring. I can hear them. So we fought like in a dome full of like 60, 70,000 people. And he elbowed me in the head over and over. He's a southpaw, so you know the elbow's right there. And he split my head open, blood gushing in my eyes. I looked over at my mom, and my mom put her thumb over her throat. I was like, get him out of here. Like, it's okay. She put her hands in the air like, it's okay, son. Show him how we do it. So I went back out there, and I picked him up and body slammed him and stumped him out. He couldn't continue. I got disqualified, bottles thrown at me, all types of shit. But at the end of the day, you can't leave the fight in the judge's hand. So I couldn't knock him out, but, I mean, he was being dirty anyways. It goes to tell you, either you got to knock him out or they're going to take it. That's how I feel. Yeah. Whether I'm in your backyard or whether I'm at home, if I'm in my kitchen, I got to knock you out. So that's why when I fight, people say, you know, you fight. Every punch is a knockout blow. You seem angry, no? If I leave this to the judges, if I leave this to a human, it's not a computer making the fight or giving me, this is a human, which is a human's imperfect. They're going to make wrong decisions. I got to knock your ass out. Otherwise, they're going to, you leave it in the air, it can go either way. Yeah. And a Frog, he calls every time. Anytime we watch fights, like I said, Frog, he's never boxed in a boxing ring, but he's been around boxing for years. He calls it every time. Oh, they're going to give Bivol the fight because Bivol's this, and this in this city. Or they're going to give Wilder the fight because of this, and this. He calls every time. Politics. Or y'all call street politics. Same thing goes in boxing. Whoever got them fat pockets, they can call the shots any day. That's true. I didn't say that, but you heard it.
That was Frog Dogg.
.com.
Hey, you dig?
I yonder dig.
God damn it.
Man. All right, you want to talk a little bit about Frog Dogg?
Okay.
See, he was in here last time.
All right, so Frog Dogg is, I say the closest thing I have to like a father. Well, actually, situation with me and Freddie Roach. God damn it, I'm going to say it. I was training with Freddie Roach, and I had the opportunity to spar Bivol, you know, light heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah. Freddie Roach, great coach, but he has a, like, I wouldn't call it an ego problem, but he wants to call things on his own terms. So he didn't want to go with me to go spar Bivol. He said, if Bivol wants to spar you, Bivol can spar you here. I said, I understand, but this is the world champion. He has his own camp. If your fighter has the chance to fight against a world-class fighter, wouldn't you want to gauge your fighter out against that? Yeah. 2 weeks he didn't show up. I was by myself. Luckily, I called my pops. I'm like, look, man, I'm going to this gym by myself. He said, well, fuck it. I'm going to go with you. So we there, and he knows boxing. He may not be able to throw the punches correctly, but he knows it down to the T, old school boxing. So he had me sticking and moving the whole time. All he could do is give me water and scream, son, you better stick and move. Don't let the motherfucker hit you. Stick and move. Go to the body, stay away. So the contract was just for 4 rounds. I got into Bivol's head so much that we went from 7 rounds to 8 rounds to 9 rounds for 2 weeks. It was just a 4-week contract. But me and him both got into his head because he knows boxing. It got to a point where they told me, next time I come back, I can't bring him because he talks too much. But the crazy thing is Bivol don't speak English barely, and his coach don't. His whole camp don't because they're Russians. So, I mean, he knows my pops. My pops was out here when I was younger. I lost my pops at the age of 6, like, you know, we talk about. And, you know, he filled that void. For anybody listening, a father figure isn't somebody that's always blood. A father figure is a father figure, regardless of how they look, how they sound, how they act. Like I said, a man is not characterized by how tall he is or what does he do or how strong he is. He's characterized by the morals in his heart and what he stands for. That's a father figure. Even though if he's done wrong his whole life, if he can tell you exactly what not to do and how to get there and how to be positive and successful, then listen to him. So, I said, Frog Dogg's my father figure. And don't base things off of time. Base things off of energy. Energy will never lie to you. And from the first moment I met Frog Dogg, energy didn't lie to me. He said, look, man, you got a good head on your shoulders. I want you to stay out the streets. You're going to stay with me. I'm going to take good care of you, make sure that you make it all the way to the top. Nobody going to fuck with you while you with me. Whether you're in Long Beach, Compton, Inglewood, whatever the case is. And he's been right there ever since. From the moment I moved out here, he's been right there on my right-hand side, just right there. Anytime I need anything. And everybody can say, I'll be honest about it because I feel like a lot of people's in my position. People, for the most part, boxers, we're not always rolling in dough. We're not born rolling in dough. That's why a lot of us choose boxing because it's a way to release how we feel because we're dealing with something, whether it's physical, mental, whether it's materialistic. We're all dealing with some shit. So at one point, like I said, I didn't have 2 quarters to rub together. He's paying for my food, my gas, taking care of my ass because I didn't have shit. I wasn't always signed with Eddie Hearns. I wasn't always making money. So, you know, you really find out who your friends really are when you ain't got shit. And when I was sleeping on the air mattress, just moved out here, training with Freddie Roach, shit wasn't going right, and I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. Because things ain't working with me and Freddie, and I'm sparring a world champion. I don't know what I'm going to do. He had my back. My first fight going to Wales. I'm fighting in Wales, and this is a do or die.
Damn.
Eddie Hearn's either he's going to continue this contract or he's going to cut it. He told me, depending on how this fight goes, either I'm going to send your ass back and no contract, I'm going to send you back with a fat contract. Frog Dogg played a major part in me getting this fat-ass contract because if I would have looked like garbage going to this fight, then it would have been a no-do. For those that don't know, I'm 17-0 with 60 knockouts. So my record says that I'm a puncher. I'm flat-footed. That's how it was. Most of my career, I just go to people and try to knock them out. He made me start boxing. People don't know that. He's the reason why I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He made me get on my toes, legit. Because with Bivol, I can't knock Bivol out. Bivol's strong and too dangerous. So I started that boxing shit probably about like 7 months ago with him.
Oh.
We be in the front yard in Compton. In the front yard, he's showing me how to stick and move, legit. In the front yard in Compton. People washing their cars, driving by, newspaper man, he's telling me stick and move. He's showing me bit by bit, look, son, you got to do this. We was watching Bivol fight, who's Bivol fighting? We was watching a Bivol fight a year ago, and he told me, look, son, you're going to be fighting this motherfucker, so right now you got to start sticking and moving.
Damn.
I'm telling you, you're going to fight him. You're going to see him. He spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like I said, man, no, the end, long story short, he's been right there the whole step of the way, man.
Are you getting ready for your next fight?
I can't tell you that. Yeah, actually, I am. Right now, I'm in negotiations with Eddie Hearns. So things are looking really great, really bright. You might even see me with Canelo in the future. You never know because we're in the same weight class. I mean, yeah. I forgot you guys are pie size. Yeah, but it's in the future, man. Step by step, I'm not in a rush, like you know, and I got Frog Dogg with me right behind me. A lot of things that you hear me say, it's not always me. A lot of times it's him, speaking through me. Like the mental illness, it's not something I want to talk about. But he told me, look, man, you got character. I mean, not character, but you got the it factor. What's inside of you need to share with the world. I wasn't going to share it. I was going to keep it all to myself. Me acting goofy and crazy and just me being vibrant. But he told me that character that you have outside the ring, well, inside the ring, spread it with people outside. People love you. Love them back. So I give all thanks to him, man. Frog Dogg, he's been taking good care of me ever since I've been here.
Hey.
And it's just like that.
Hey.
Hey. So what are some of the things that you tell him, like when you see him boxing?
All right, go ahead and tell him, Frog.
How do you get to his head?
Well,
When he's not listening, what do you got to tell
Well,
him?
he listens. Well, I just tell him to lock the door. Church, lock the door.
really, my last fight, he was screaming that shit. He says, church locked the door. Okay, for instance, one time I sparring Bivol, right?
Okay.
Bivol hit me with the right hand. That shit ripped my headgear clean off my head. Ripped it off. He went flying into the next room. And I stopped, and I pointed at his manager. I said, you owe me a new fucking headgear. And I walked back to the corner, and he's like, you okay? He just bust you the fuck up. You straight? You all right? He's like, shit, you shouldn't be walking after that. He's like, well, don't let him hit you with that shit no more. And send me right back out there. But I say a lot of things he says. It's not always boxing. If anybody knows boxing is like a way of life. You don't have to speak boxing in order for it to be boxing. You tell me, go out there, hey, stay safe, think smart. That ain't got nothing to do with boxing. That's life, period.
Right.
Stay smart. Stay safe, be smart. Don't do nothing stupid. Take your time. Enjoy yourself. I ain't say anything about boxing. That's life, period. But boxing and life is the same rules. So a lot of times what he says, man, it might not be nothing with a jab or nothing. Hit the switches on him real quick. Hey, really. I'll come back to the ring. Hey, show him how we coming. Straight from Compton. Show him how we get down. That's all he may give me, the advice. I don't like how he looking at you. Go tell him what I said. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, no, it's the main one he like to say. Go check his pockets.
Go check his pockets.
Really, go check his pockets. When you say go check his pockets, that mean go press him.
Okay.
And I checked his pockets that last time, and I got everything I wanted.
Dang.
Even his driver license.
The magician.
The magician.
Yeah.
Making things disappear.
Abracadabra, now you're gone.
So guys, I mentor some middle school kids,
Yes,
and
brother
something that I've learned is like, you feel like you're gonna, like you're teaching these kids something, but many of the times you learn something back or you get something back. What have you gained from your time with Anthony?
Well, I gained a lot, man. A lot of trust. You know what I mean? I have a lot of fun with him. He's just a big kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll put it this way, like, we give it to people raw. I lost my father growing up, so I don't have a father. And they said he has a son, and his son's an amazing dude, great, but his son never been in the boxing world. That's one thing that he longs for because he wanted to be a boxer. So it's like we fill that void for each other without even trying, you know. And I could have been anywhere doing anything, but we crossed paths, and it was great. You know, my pops was out here way before I was born. So it's like, you know, it's God blesses and a ripple effect, and when he blesses you, he blesses others. People eat off your plate, you know, overruns with blessings. So I feel like we're just blessing each other, man. And anybody we coming in contact with, you know, America's most wanted.
Do you ever get nervous when you watch them fight?
I'm nervous now. You sweating shit.
Yeah, when you get an AC in here.
Yeah, all right. He thinking like Big Ear Pac, like somebody about to rush in here and do something.
Nah, we safe in here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we safe.
You
Automatic
see that
locks.
guy over there?
Yeah.
He's there for a reason.
Hey, that's my boy, Panchito Lopez.
Yeah.
Yeah, better watch out for them fool.
Gotta watch out for him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
See you fool.
Let me ask you a question. What's been one of your favorite fighters of all time, and do you incorporate something from watching that fighter into Anthony Sims?
Yes, I like Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes.
Hey.
They got the best jabs.
No, Larry had a
Straight
good
right
jab.
hand.
Yeah.
I call Larry Holmes, he had a missile. That's what a guided missile. The right hand was a guided missile. So I tell Anthony, stay on your toes and keep that left hand up and guide that missile. It'll take him home.
Yeah, he tells me just don't look like Larry Holmes when he fought Mike Tyson.
That's the old Larry Holmes.
What's one of the things that Anthony needs to develop right now?
More confidence.
What?
More?
Anthony don't know how much his talent is.
He's right.
He
He's
don't
right.
know.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
He don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
Hey.
But here's the flip to that. So when he's saying I need to get more confidence, it's not that I'm confident in myself, but I think it's a good thing. I don't know how good I am because when you find out how great you really are, I feel like you reach your peak.
Yeah, I guess.
What signs does he give you that he still doesn't have that confidence yet?
He asking the wrong questions, man.
I'm asking the right.
Go ahead.
You don't give me no sign. I just know.
Right. You
know
just
what I
feel
mean?
it, right?
I just feel it.
Okay.
Certain things he do, I
Yeah.
want him to pick it up.
You know, it's like LeBron James. LeBron
Know what I
James
mean?
probably know he's LeBron James when he was my age.
Hmm.
You know, you got to grow into things. And I don't really want to know how great I am. I feel like my mindset is always that I'm not enough or I'm too slow. I'm too weak.
Yeah, that's kind of a good thing sometimes, right? Because you always tell yourself that I can be better.
Yeah, I feel
Right.
like when you realize how great you really are, I feel like that arrogance and that conceit. Well, I can't even say it. Concedence.
Conceited.
Yeah,
Yes.
conceited. Thank you, brother.
But you don't bring that out.
No,
It's just-
not at all. But he's right. I don't think I know how truly great I am.
I feel like sometimes he could step on that gas pedal a little more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always.
Some of the opponents don't even supposed to be in there. Get them out fast.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Church lock the door.
Yes. Church locked the door. It means it's all about to go down.
It's good like that. So,
Yeah, I think Sergio Mora said something about that too, like in the fight with
Yeah, the last guy.
yeah, he's
And
like,
I had to snap on him.
even though you had already taken the guy out the
Yeah.
first round, it was already over the first round.
Sergio, I told Sergio, I said, if you think I'm fighting such less opposition, how about you fight me?
Right.
And that's when the camera directed to the person next to me
so
off
this-
of him.
you call the surgery out.
Oh, I called Chris out too. Chris, from
Chris.
Dazan. The white dude.
Chris Mannix?
Yes, him.
Okay.
I'm going to find him. I don't like what he's saying and how he's saying it.
What exactly did he say?
I can't say that.
Tell us later.
You can tell us
It's
later.
in my contract.
Uh-oh. Eddie Hearn.
So you told us Sugar Ray Leonard was your favorite fighter, right?
Absolutely.
And he calls fights for the Zone.
Zone, yes. So to be able to meet him, I was able to meet Ali, but when I met him, he had passed away. I was there at his funeral. But yeah, for him to be right there, I can't put it into words, and that's cliche, but it's like, can you imagine being in the era of Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, to be right there and see these fights? It's not the same, watching it, reminiscing about it, but to be there and see it, like what? So to be around somebody from that time period, that did it, just to be in his presence, it's a blessing. Anytime we're in Floyd Mayweather's and Terrence Crawford, that's great, but nothing compares to that time period.
Right.
The funk, the outfits, the glow, the gestures, how they spoke, how they walk, how they talk, the music. civil rights, just everything that was going on at that time period. Equality, respect. There's so much people was fighting for. There's so much going on. And it's beautiful. It was tragic shit going on too, but you can't have one without the other. Beauty and tragedy is one and the same. But just to be around that, him be part of that, man. And him from to say, I'm gonna pass you the torch. I said, stop playing. I was like, can I call you sugar? He said no.
Anthony talks about like the past fighters back then. Is there anything that you see in boxing in today's generation that's missing from back then? Like what's going on with this generation of boxers?
They not being taught right. 'Cause it's a whole lot
Oh
of
my God.
one-trick ponies.
Yep.
You want to elaborate on specific examples of which boxers?
You already gave one, right?
Church, lock the
Deontay
door.
Wilder.
No, it's just a lot of them out there that just only know how to fight one way and not being taught the whole game.
Yeah.
Inside and out.
Who are some fighters that you see right now in this generation that you're like, whoa?
Me.
Anthony Sims Jr.
Yeah, besides Anthony.
You know that one guy they called him magician?
Yeah, Anthony and I like the Charlo brothers. I like the Charlos. They all right. You know what I mean? But I don't care nothing about nobody but him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take it to the top with him, then everybody else, they can fall in.
I don't mean to put it all on me, but I mean, I've gotten coached by some of the greatest. A lot of them are either no longer around or not in a position to coach no more. Whether it's Emanuel Steward, Roger Mayweather, Freddie Roach. I've gotten Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Hank Johnson, Marvin Johnson's brother. Marvin Johnson, a 3-time light heavyweight champion. I've been a coach for much of my career. But a lot of these coaches now are not really coaches. They're strength and conditioning coaches. They're not boxing coaches. In order you to teach the sweet science, you have to be part of the sweet science.
Yeah.
So unless you over 50, don't tell me shit.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, Anthony, what did you learn the most about Emanuel Steward? What's that one thing that he taught you?
Man, footwork, your legs. Your legs is your first defense. When people say it's your arms and your face, but your legs. You look at all the fighters that he took over. Vander Holyfield, the Klitschko brothers, Lennox Lewis. He perfected using your arms and your shoulders as defense and using your legs. People don't really like the crunk style a lot of times. You look at original crunk fighters, McCory, Jimmy Paul, Tommy Hearns, but they all had something in common. They knew how to use their arms, and they knew how to use their legs. Now, towards the end of the career, I can't really speak on what happened.
Excuse me.
But I sparred Miguel Cotto when I was 13.
Dang.
And he sat me down, bro. I ain't gonna stunt.
You were a kid, man.
I was
13.
He didn't know that though. It was me, Dominic Dalton, and Jalen Love. We were all sparring him. And Manny said, get your ass out there. Just go out there, use your jab. That's how you talk. Go out there, use your jab. Just go hit the motherfucker. Just go use your jab. So I was like, I don't know if I want to hit him. He's like, motherfucker, you scared? Just go out there and just use your jab. So I hit him with a jab. I'm like, okay, it's kind of easy. Cotto's not easy to hit, but Puerto Rican fighters, they slip, and they come back. Slip, roll, come back. They always come back in that angle of fire. Not to be racist towards Puerto Rican, but that's just the style they talk. Just like Mexican fighters. Yeah. Roll, body shot, big hook. So I'm jabbing. He said, motherfucker, throw the right hand in. Just put the right hand there. So I put the right hand in and bust his lip. And he licked his lip. And he said, "Me gusta cabrón." And I was like, "What the hell did he say?" And he hit me with this looping body shot. That looping body shot, he threw that looping, and he just walked away afterwards. I went to take a step, and it hit me. It's like a delayed reaction, and I just took a knee. I just took a knee, and I was just praying for a minute, like, God, why the hell am I in here? But Emanuel Steward.
Is that when you learned Spanish?
Yes,
after that.
Yeah. Actually, I learned Spanish in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Out there, bro. I was out there getting in trouble.
You're listening to reggaeton.
Yeah, what are you doing out there, man?
I'll tell you later. I was actually out there with the junior road team. We was out there in Albergue Olympico in the Olympic Center, sparring like the Puerto Rican champions. But if anything, I say the main thing I learned from Emanuel Steward is a relationship a fighter's supposed to have with their coach. Now, I love Freddie, great coach, but I didn't have that relationship with him outside the ring. Man, he cooked for us. He talked to us. We went shopping together. We got our nails done together, all types of stuff. It sounds funny, but he had that. You need that type of intimate relationship with your coach because you have to be able to trust him with your life because that's what you're doing when you get into that ring. I'm putting my life in your hands. So if I don't trust you just the slightest bit or I have any type of doubts, I can end up hurting myself because I don't believe in what you're saying. And Manny can make my ass jump off a cliff. That's the type of relationship we had. 'Cause I know he had my back and I had his. You know, man cooks for you. You know, we sit and watch boxing for hours. You talk about life, everything but boxing. That's true love. And if somebody just wants to check, they're going to do what they have to do to get the check. He went over and beyond that, and he made you feel like you're really family. I was downstairs in the basement shooting pool and chilling with Andy Lee and K9 and all his other fighters. It was a family household. I was at his actual home where he rests his head and where he finds peace and his home. I haven't felt that way since. I mean, I have that with my current trainer, Shadi Saluki, but I think it was really hard for me to find that chemistry with other coaches because I held the coaches at such a high level. You know, they'd never meet unless they're from that time period and know how things go. May I ask you something?
Yeah.
When you look at a lot of photos with the fighters and their coaches, if you compare a photo right now to a photo back in the 80s, 70s, it's completely different with the coach and the fighter relationship. Like I know the coaches are excited and stuff, but the coaches back then, they couldn't hold in how they felt because they felt everything that you felt. They're just as excited. Now, nowadays, you win a world championship, everybody hop in the ring, kind of. Back in the day, your cut man, your corner man, they pick you up, throw you in the air, everybody's falling around, people losing their toupees, like it's crazy. Really. You know why? Because back then, coach is with you the whole time. The coach I have now, he gets up with me 4 a.m. and runs with me. He's there on a bike, whether he's running or on a bike. He eats with us. He runs with everything. Cardio, he's right there the whole time. He doesn't miss a beat. So he feels everything that we feel. When we're losing weight, he's not eating either. Exactly. Coaches now, they do what they got to do for that check. Whether they love their fighters really, that's cool if you really love your fighter. But you know, when a fighter loses the fight, that's how I know. When a fighter loses the fight, gets knocked out or beat up, if you're not crying, it's a problem. Because I know if the fighter's crying, if you feel the fighter feel, you're going to shed tears before he shed tears. If you're not throwing that towel in before it needs to be thrown in. Exactly. Because you don't feel what he feels. All he's seeing is a check. You don't see this man has to go home to his family. This is a man inside here. This ain't no robot. This ain't no job. So, I mean, really, you want to talk about real coaches or old school coaches? You can tell right there by the coach's body language. This is his son. It's somebody he loves for. Somebody he's willing to die for. Somebody he's really throw himself in front of the camera for. Throw the towel in. I'll deal with the shit later. But you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, it's like very business-like. Like, I'll see you at the fight.
Yeah, I'll see you at the fight, or I didn't throw the towel in because I thought you still had a chance. This man getting the shit beat out of him. If that was your son, I bet you. If that was your wife or your child, I bet you throw the towel in.
Yeah.
Won't be no hesitation.
It just reminded me of a interview I saw with Fury's dad, where he's all like, "If I was in that corner, like he's like, I probably would have thrown in the fight after that knockdown because that's my son, that's my blood, like."
Yeah, but that's probably the type of relationship with Fury had with his coach. His coach probably knew, like, he went down, but when a man has something he's fighting for bigger than himself, there's no telling what he'll do and what he's capable of. Whether that's he's fighting for something that's negative or he's fighting for something that's great and that changes this world for the best. When a man has his mind set to something, it's a dangerous dude, whether it's positive or negative. Ain't nothing gonna stop or stand in his way. For instance, for example, for people listening who's never boxed, if somebody hits you in a fight and 3 or 4 cops run up to stop it, it's gonna take probably more than that. If you really want to get this guy, you're gonna get him. That's why I tell people, if you really want to do some shit, you're gonna do it. I don't care who's in the way, what the situation is. You gonna do it, whether it's good or bad. But sorry, just hopping around.
No, you good, bro.
Yeah.
So we do here.
That's what we do. Hoppers, cuz.
Is that why they call him a
Frog
Frog
man,
Dogg?
he call him Frog Dogg, dog.
Or you can't say?
I didn't know whether to not call him back afterwards or what. I was like, man, I'm done fucking with him. We're in the highway, and I was like, what they call you Frog Dogg? We in the low rider. He said, watch this. Oh, shit. Motherfucker, we on the highway doing at least 50 or 60. He sent that shit to the moon. Dog, like, for real. We looking at the sky on the highway. We not stationary. If air get underneath that car, that motherfucker going. He's going airborne. And I said, that's why they call you Frog Dogg. Don't nobody hop that shit, because when you hop your car, most time people break this shit the way he hopping.
Oh, damn.
But he hop his shit, he be 3-wheeling, and he does it. People might do like 20, 30 miles an hour. He doing 50, 60 straight down Compton Boulevard. And people know it's Frog Dogg. He can be in somebody else's car. Don't nobody hit switches like him. And I know better, because when he about to hit switches, he'll tell me, son, I'm about to send this motherfucker to the moon. And he hit the switch, and there we go. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm cool, Frog. I saw my life. He hit switches so hard, his his windshield be cracking. Because cars ain't made for that.
Wow.
For real, man.
Yeah.
Cars ain't made for that.
We gotta see that, bro. You gotta take us
Hey, I
with you
got
one of these
to.
Sundays,
Hey,
man.
Sunday, man, you see some crazy. You see people break dancing and tap dancing, all
We
types
call
of
it
shit.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday
Yes.
fun day.
And
there
once you go, you're not coming back the same.
Yeah. Hey, Sunday's family day. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even when you see the Chicanos out there
Yeah.
doing their cholo dance and stuff, it be tight, bro.
Oh.
Hey, it's tight though, man. It's tight. Just to see so much culture,
Uh-huh.
so much diversity. You know, we got the Asians, the blacks, the white boys,
Yeah.
the cholos, but it's all love at the end of the day. Really, man.
Yeah.
See all these people come together. People that you wouldn't normally talk to each other, whether it's different colors, gangs, rivals,
Mhm.
sides of town, man. It's all one. It's just one big family.
Nice. Did I see you post that you were gonna buy one of those cars, bro?
What you mean?
So you-
No, actually, my father left me a '63 Galaxy. It's just sitting in
Oh.
storage. I had an '86 Regal. I sold it. He has a caddy, or a broom and it's a broom.
Yeah.
There-
okay.
A broom and a Lincoln. He lets me drive the Lincoln, but yeah, man. It's addicting once you get into it.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
He's addicted.
He's addicted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your moves with the skates on.
Oh yeah. Saw those.
You
That's
know,
cool.
my skate name is. It's Suave, but you don't say it. You just mouth it. Suave. That's my skate name.
Did
You're not
pick-
afraid to hurt your leg or something?
Yes.
No, man. It's like I don't
That's
skate fast.
exercise.
Yeah. That's why I can dance for 10 or 12 rounds. Like I skate for 40 minutes straight.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my secret. It ain't no secret though, because they can try to do this shit and they ain't gonna ever be able to do it. I'm doing this for years.
So yeah. So when you make it to the top, how Lomachenko has a dancer, you're gonna be like, I got the skating.
Man, you can't even dance. Lomachenko or the other the world
He
champion.
is white.
Pedraza?
I don't know what the hell they be doing.
Who, Lomachenko?
Yeah, man, I don't know what the hell they doing.
What do you
dog.
guys
Watch
take?
that fight?
Yeah, what do you guys take away from Lomachenko just as a fighter himself?
I feel bad for Lomachenko because the greatest opponent he wants to face or somebody that actually tests him, they don't exist. He's in the wrong time period. He has so much skills and stuff, but nobody ever be able to really challenge him or bring out his best.
That was supposed to be Rigondeaux, huh?
It's supposed to be Ringendow, but
Damn.
Ringendow was too
Small.
small, and
Yeah.
you know, when you're that small and somebody's big in front of you, you can say whatever the hell you want to say, but
Yeah.
you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt your skill.
You know who we wanted to fight him?
Who? Crawford?
No.
Who?
Mikey?
No.
Oh, I thought you said Mark Garcia
No, we talked about it in
and
the
TGI.
brothers.
The brother?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary Russell.
Yeah, stop running from Gary.
That's what Gary wants to fight him real
35?
bad.
Yeah, Gary
think he
Russell
fought him
Jr.
already.
I think they
Yeah,
fought
He
already.
fought him,
but
but
he
Gary
want-
wants a rematch.
He want a rematch.
Mm.
Lomo, stop running, Lomo.
You think it's gonna be different this time?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
if
know,
Homo don't stop running,
what you call him?
Homo,
Lomo.
Homo,
With an L.
Wow.
Homo Lonko Tinko.
Anyway,
You
Fight
don't
Gary Russell Jr.
you don't appreciate the skills, Lomachenko?
skills pay the bills, but when you get to a
Yeah,
certain level,
skills.
you
I
gotta.
like it, but I want to see him fight
Stand.
my boy
And
again.
it's coming from
Yeah.
it's coming
Yeah.
from somebody that, you know, if you ever been in a fist fight, toe to toe, blow for blow, I can respect your opinion on it. But if you never have, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Unless you
Mhm.
came out your house and have to fight the same person twice,
Mm-hmm.
then don't talk about it.
So give him back that fade, homie.
That's right, basically.
Run it
that.
back.
Hey, run it
Run
back.
it back.
Right back.
Yeah.
And I think Homo's scared. I mean, Lomo's scared.
I can't do this shit with you. I'm off the mic.
We'll try to edit it out. Don't worry.
Can't do that.
It's okay.
What's cracking?
It's okay.
It's all good. We don't have any rules.
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko.
With a big ass L.
With that fight, I was very impressed, and since now I've been impressed with Lomar because he's fought guys with speed, guys with power,
Yes.
you know, and so he's, like you said, he has yet to fight somebody with like the whole package,
Yeah.
and that's why I think
Yeah.
Mikey would be a good test for him.
I feel
Mikey
you.
will beat him up.
You will. I feel your spirit, brother Christian.
Yeah.
Mikey will knock him out.
Mikey will knock him
Wow.
out.
Mikey,
You're never letting that go.
But Mikey shouldn't take this
Mikey
fight with
is
Errol
very-
Yeah,
Spence.
I was gonna
Very
ask you that
stiff.
next.
That's pointless, man. I mean, like, I respect him for it, but why?
Hmm.
well,
You know, like in the
he's-
scary movies, there's always that. Oh, wait, not white people, but it's always like, you know, in the movie, it's a white guy
Mhm.
screaming, "Why?" Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel for Mikey. Why, Mike?
You got G over here that thinks Mikey has a chance, a good chance.
He has a chance.
He's like,
What he been smoking? Mikey has.
Hey,
look,
We'll
Mikey
talk
has-
after the fight.
Mikey has
Yeah.
no chance.
He-
We'll talk after the
When he
fight.
been smoking, you don't puff pass. he kept that with himself.
Mikey has no chance.
No
I feel-
chance?
It's
I feel
okay.
I love Mikey. I feel
Yeah.
sorry for him. I
Hey.
do. I really hope he don't take this
Yeah.
fight.
It's okay.
Anthony, you don't think he has a chance?
He's just a paisa in you, dog.
He has,
Oh, no.
he has
no.
no chance.
No.
You really
No.
think he got a chance?
No.
He'll win. I'll talk to you after
You
the fight.
sound,
I'll talk to you after the fight. Don't worry.
He sounded straight.
confident.
All right, here's the deal. If Mikey
Uh-oh.
wins, you can punch me in the face. If Errol Spence wins,
I don't want to punch you, man.
I'm gonna see you to
He's
the
like-
upper room.
Nah, you gotta hit him with a body shot. You can't hit
Oh,
him.
that body
hit
shot.
me with a body
You
shot.
got and you gotta use the left.
We got the gloves right
Can't
here.
hit him with the right.
Oh, I'm not doing no gloves. This straight style. This punch coming from Compton.
I'll bring some brass
This
knuckles.
this for all my homies. You about to feel 10 years of child support.
I warned you about this, Gio.
He's
Hey,
still,
we'll talk after the fight.
he still
We'll talk
has
after the fight.
he still got bad news Burrell.
Yeah.
Problems.
Oh, that guy.
You got a lot of problems with people.
He's got beef with two
Yeah.
boxers now.
Who?
With you in
You
this.
got beef with me. Shit, I'll take these headphones off right now. What's crazy?
Hey, don't listen to them. Dude. Come on. Don't let him get to your head. Hey, talk to him, man.
Son, he got his hitman
Hey,
over there.
how I got? Oh, it's all right. Hey, Artie, if I slide him 100, we could. Now, how you gonna have beef with somebody in a soccer shirt? Well, you got New Balance on your chest. Talking about I got beef.
Hey, dude. Put some respect on your British fans, man.
What?
He's got a
All
little
my British fans?
What
Yeah, put
makes
some
you
respect
think
on him,
he's
man.
gonna win?
Hello,
Yeah,
it's,
he just has more skills.
it's Anthony Sims coming live.
I told
from-
these guys the only way Errol Spence wins is his size. That's it.
He's too big.
Yeah, but that's
and he's
it.
gonna beat him up.
This is basically Carol
That's
Book and
it.
Triple G all over again.
The boy too
No.
small, man.
Yeah,
no.
he is.
The boy too
He
small.
is. I agree with
The
that.
boy too small.
I
man.
agree with that.
Yes, but he has to stick with what he knows.
Hmm.
And guess what? He gonna run out of gas. Once his gas tank gone after the 6th round, Earl Spence gonna put him on his back.
We'll see.
You want to get your pillow so you can sleep right next to him.
We'll see, man.
Man, that's what's gonna happen, man.
It's okay.
We'll see.
He gonna put him to sleep. I don't
Hey.
want
So
my boy
Anthony,
to go
you
to
think
sleep.
knockout? You think or just decision?
He's going to sleep.
Man, let me call my boy. My boy will tell you. My boy he see the fight. He see Earl Spence winning.
Easy.
My boy Stevie.
He has
Easy.
not. It's not gonna hurt what he's bringing up, coming up in weight. It's not gonna hurt Earl Spence. Earl Spence gonna walk through that. He gonna eat. He's
Man,
like
I ran into Earl Spence at the airport.
gonna bite his
he's
hand
he's
off.
as big as me. I don't
Yeah,
know how
he's
he
big.
Oh, he's a big guy.
He's big. He shouldn't be fighting at 147.
He's bigger. He's bigger than your homie blocking the door. Like he's big.
for real. He's big. And
No, dog.
Paul Mikey.
I don't believe in him. It's cool.
You ain't got to.
So y'all.
Because
talk
Mikey
to
gonna
Mikey.
believe in that left hand when he feel it. And you gonna be over there saying,
He might break 3 of Mikey's ribs.
Aye, Mikey. Aye.
Yeah, we gotta have you on after that.
I don't
after
want
that
Mikey
fight.
fighting him.
I'm not
That,
tripping.
that's not a good fight for Mikey.
Yeah.
No, just
it's-
out of respect. I mean, if you trying to go old school style, which fight whoever, Segway Leonard fighting Hagler and
Yeah.
Benavidez, understood. Kudos to you, bro.
Mhm.
But I think even with them fights, everybody was still kind of the same size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guy's a giant. It's
Mikey
David.
ain't got track shoes fast
Well,
enough
Mikey's
to stay
name
away
is
from that
Mikey. It
dude.
ain't David, so I don't plan on him beating Goliath. Next,
So you would be shocked if Mikey wins?
Ain't no shock in that. Ain't nobody getting shocked.
No, I'm just saying you would be shocked.
There
Then.
ain't gonna be no
hold
shock
on,
in that.
somebody's getting emotional. You hear that voice squeak in the back? What the? We need to change topic.
We'll
because
talk after the fight.
He's getting a little offended. he unbuttoned his collar.
Took his shoe
It's a
off.
style.
Took his shoe
I
off.
know. He's all right. He's gonna leave him, but he's getting all greasy and hot. Brother Christian, we need to
Get
pray
this
for
out
him
of
right
here,
now.
man.
So switching gears, Canelo's fighting on the zone
Oh man,
this weekend.
Canelo, the gringo with
Do
red
you-
hair.
Yeah. Do you see anything from Fielding that he can?
Who?
Man, I ain't never heard of.
Who?
I know we're in the same team. Like,
Rocky Fielding.
no, I think it's just like a fight. Just
Where he
for,
come from?
He's from Britain.
he's from
Britain.
Sweet Caroline. Boom, boom. He's from.
Where they find him at?
They're fighting in what's the venue in
Madison Square.
Madison Square. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fighting a card.
New York.
A card
New
I was
York.
trying to get on, but they told me I had to fight for a belt, and I said, I'll wait a little bit.
Interesting.
So,
They're trying to
uh,
put you in already.
It's
Yeah.
a tuna fight for the boy.
This is basically I think a tuna fight for
Tune-up,
Canelo.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna sign him to a big ass deal and then put him in there with a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And this and he still has to fight somebody that's still at the top. So he's fighting what? This is 168, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not about to fight
Me.
Benavidez
Or Kellen
or
Smith.
or no, he's not about to fight none of the top. Yeah, Callum Smith. Does that
Mhm.
be a possible fight?
Yeah.
He won't throw away his money like that.
Yeah. That's something that we talked about it here, that I would have respected it more if he would have taken that Kellen Smith fight, but yeah, that's no way that was gonna happen.
There's no point. I mean, the timing of it, but it will happen eventually. Just like how this Joshua and Wilder fight has been people waiting on it. Either you take it or you need to go and sit your ass down somewhere because you can't be the champion of the road and not fight with the road. That's
Y'all
all.
think Joshua was juicing?
Yes. Using the OJ juice.
Is it orange juice?
Yes, orange juice. I'm telling you, man. I don't know. Anthony Joshua, he's cool. Like I said, I told people, I wasn't surprised by the outcome of the Wilder and Fury fight. Because if Fury won that fight, then who's Fury gonna fight?
Vegas won that fight.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Vegas won.
Vegas won.
Vegas won. That's
They
why.
won on that fight.
That's why I don't want to fight here.
Canelo and Triple G.
That's
The
why I don't
first
fight
fight they
Vegas.
won. Anytime it's a draw,
Yeah.
Vegas win.
You know, crazy part is with boxing being such a big sport with the Hispanic fans, Latino fans, you usually seeing Hispanics get cheated a lot of times. Big time fights, or you see the favoritism.
I'm gonna tell y'all to be smart about it. When one of them big ass fights come, bet just like they say, it's gonna be a draw. So you put all your
Yeah,
money
it's been
on
a couple
the damn
draws
draw.
the last couple
Yeah.
year and a half.
My homeboy just won on the draw I
Should've put-
trained with. I was like, who bets on the damn draw?
They don't expect you to bet
Don't
on the
expect you
draw.
to- yeah.
Nope.
So they let you put all your money on this one person,
Yeah.
had the odds right, and then they draw it up.
Yeah. From now, it's like you gotta
That
kind
mean
of
nobody wins.
have to guess that corrupt decision because that's.
Well, the fighters make it really hard because the fighters, I feel like, do what they're supposed to, which is, I don't say, knock them out, but you can't leave it in the hands of the judges. And when you do, then you make it hard, well, who won the fight? Back in the days, you just clear. Either you lost or you won. Some fights is really close because, you had two top-notch guys. But this fight should have been close either way. He was strong. He had skills. Depending on who lands punch first, or he's going to beat the shit out of him the whole fight. No fear, you did good, but you can't be careless at the same time. Those right hands, he got tired of rolling and got caught under that roll. In boxing, the main part is all about adjustments. Wilder made that adjustment and turned that right hand over a little bit and caught him on the side of the head rather than shooting over.
Yeah.
Small adjustments.
I think it'd be a different fight for Wilder.
It'll be a different fight for Wilder, but you know what?
He'll do much better.
It's not going to change if his corner doesn't change.
Yeah, that's something that we noticed that
Man.
not a lot of, vocal instruction from the corner, anything very clear throughout that
No,
fight.
no.
We heard it.
The man punch drunk. He can't really talk.
Who's his coach? Oh, yeah.
He's punch drunk. He can't even talk.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, Anthony Joshua announced that he has a date and that he would fight Wilder.
Wilder. Man, he's just doing that because he's looking bad.
Yeah, but Wilder announced that the first fight he wants it's that rematch, and most likely it's gonna happen in Vegas.
That's in the clause. But actually, right now, there's a guy in my gym, my stablemate that actually fight Wilder or Fury pretty soon. What's the Polish heavyweight right now? Big bald head Polish guy beat Charles. You know what I'm talking about? Big ass heavyweight bald head. He's like a big giant baby. That's how he looks. No mustache, no muscle, just puffy like a baby. Well, he's fighting Gerald. If Gerald wins this fight, Gerald will be in line, to take a stab at one of these guys again. Gerald, he already fought Wilder and lost the first time, but Gerald, he had never boxed. He just turned pro. Now no amateur fights, anything. So, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question now. A possible opponent. I know you talked about this guy. You guys share the same name. We actually saw him on the Zone. Good body puncher.
Oh, Anthony Yardy?
Yeah.
You talking about, I call him Jim Jones.
Why?
Because he got braids like Jim Jones.
So you see that being a possibility
I
in
call him Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang.
Yeah, you know what Pootie Tang is?
I'm talking about who's the
Oh,
fighter?
Anthony Yardy. Now, here's the thing, man. Yeah, we have the same record, and we both, we're in the process of building ourselves. But here's the difference. Our past, even though past can never really be compared, sometimes your past does play a part in your future. No knowledge of the game. He had 16 fights as an amateur. All right, now you're knocking everybody out in the pros. That's cool. But when it comes down to, we got the same arm length, same strength, same height, same muscles, same record. Who has more knowledge of the boxing game? Though yours is pumped up. I've been in this shit for 17 years. I done lived it, breathed it, died it, came back to life in it. You do this for a hobby. I do this because it's all I know. So you do this, Floyd Money Mayweather rolling shoulder, and you got Adidas sponsorship. Kudos to you, homie. But I don't play this thing. Now, you just came into this. If you want to, I'll show you how this shit go. I told him, you know, the whole Instagram, I'm not with that shit. That's cool, you know, back and forth.
Mhm.
I'm taking shots. at
Oh,
Anthony
he was
Yarder.
calling you out on this?
No, just like writing me back and forth, just like funny shit.
Mm.
But I'm taking shots from respect to you. You know, you got your 16 and 17 and 0 doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't do what the hell I did. Nor do you want to go there. So I say a lot of people, they want that fame, they want that light, but they're not willing to go into that darkness and be there. And I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm talking about period. Just boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Headaches, getting your jaw cracked. Just the training of years of repetition and getting tired of the same old shit, but fighting people continuously. He don't know nothing about that.
Mm.
So I say if we ever fought, I feel like it'd be a 13-year-old playing a 70-year-old man in checkers. Just because you won a couple games, you never played me.
Damn.
So that's how it is. Now, Butasi and all these other light heavyweights, I respect you because you put in your work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your stripes. You got a record. People done heard about you. You did your thing. Olympics, amateurs. Homie, if you ain't paid the price, don't tell me what it costs.
Mm.
And that's the same position me and him is in. So people even speak his name. Make sure you say the right Anthony. Not Yardy, but Sam's. Yeah, and I'm not downplaying him at all. I say he's a man just like me. All it takes is one punch. When it come down to it,
Mm-hmm.
I paid the price. Homie, what you paid?
Mm.
17 fights ain't that.
Yeah.
Is what you don't see. That's the price I paid.
Mm-hmm.
And he keep talking, we're going to take that fade.
We're going to fade them braids right off.
Gio might use this as a soundbite, as a message for.
You should. You should.
That's your word, Gio. Use it
I
as a
don't know. I
soundbite.
don't mess with you like that no more. We ain't homies no more.
You done fired him?
Jim.
No, I
Jim?
talked about my shirt.
Okay, Jim.
That ain't cool.
Jim's a Republican. We Democrats over here.
Democrats over here.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know about that stuff.
You see what his shirt says? His shirt says "Make America Great Again." You didn't really have to look down at his shirt.
Look at his shirt.
Yeah, we got a couple people
Yeah,
rubbing
I didn't
their
get the
heads.
joke. That's why.
His homeboy just locked the door as a problem.
Lock the church door.
There you go. Church locked the door.
There you go.
You know, we talk about future boxing fights later on.
Yeah.
What about like just watching in general boxing next year? Is there any boxing fights you want to see next year coming up
No,
for the both of you? No.
not really, man. I said the boxing I grew up watching, or that I know of.
Mm.
It's exciting. It's exciting because of the skill and because of the intellect of the fighters. I don't see that now. Even though people are earning their rep, you're world champions, you're this, you're that, but it's not the same. And it's not your fault. But I know what I know what I know. I know what it is and I know what it ain't. Certain things ain't gonna excite me.
Yeah, I want to see Lomachenko.
He will, I guess.
Yeah.
Versus Russell?
Russell, yes. So,
I guess. I'm cool.
Any other fighter?
now I want to see him revenge that.
I want to see Frog Dogg versus Jimmy.
Who the hell is Jimmy?
Him.
No way.
It's not my name. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
I just come up with a name, you know. Tommy, Jimmy.
I do want one fight though.
Who?
Just
Oh yeah, he do say he want one fight.
Mm.
one professional
He almost
fight.
he almost had one. This dude named Fred.
It was good.
We gonna talk about that on the air. I'll tell you afterward.
When is this bout going down with Fred?
Nah,
Get
I-
my tickets.
Shit,
Fred, nah.
if this fight
Fred
go
don't want
down,
it.
we gonna need a life alert button and an ambulance on standby. Because Fred got about 3 punches before he have a heart attack.
Man.
Fred didn't want it.
Fred don't. No. You gonna stop
Pick
talking
up.
about. You ever heard the song "Freddie's Dead"? You never heard about Curtis
No.
Mayfield?
No.
All right, never mind. Next question.
Okay, so I know you can't tell us when you're fighting.
Why would you even ask me, bro?
But
Okay,
I
go
just
ahead.
is there a particular like type of opponent that you want to test?
Yes. The problem is the longer they take to get me a fight,
Yeah.
you know, then they gotta throw somebody else in there for me to feel cool against. But
Mhm.
yeah, I want somebody that's, I want to say, on the down end of their career, but it's still like, you know, 50-50. It can either go my way or go their way.
Mm.
And I know I have a good chance of beating in the super middleweight division. I really like to fight Caleb Truex.
Mm.
Yeah, Truex, tough
Mhm.
guy, you know, experienced, you know, dangerous but not too dangerous. I mean, there's plenty of guys out there in super middleweight I can fight with good records that you don't hear about.
Mhm.
I think for the main part, I'm not in no rush. I'm not saying I'm the greatest, I'm the best. I'm
Mhm.
just taking my time. I'm a kid.
Mhm.
Everybody else, you know, when you get to the top, ain't nowhere else to go, like the Charlo
Mhm.
brothers and all them. But as far as me, man, I'm just taking my time, and
Yeah.
whoever they put in there in front of me, he's a threat until he's gone. They put Jimmy.
They put you.
You know, your last fight was in Kansas, right?
Oh man, yeah, with the Wizard.
So, is there like a spot that you want to make it be like your home? Like, this is where I want to fight consistently in this type of
You
venue.
really want to know? Actually, I want to fight in a venue where anybody can see it. Now that's unheard of, right?
Right.
But I mean, it's very possible. Say when Floyd fought, I mean not Floyd, but Ali in the Thriller Manila. Many people saw that fight that was outside on gates or was just hanging around. A lot of people filled that venue that didn't pay for tickets. Majority of them, unless it was floor seats. But think about it. I want to fight somewhere where any boy, little boy, or girl, poor, you got money, you can all come and watch the fight. Somewhere it's just out in the open. Whether it's, I would fight somewhere outside. And just, I say give off that originality of what fighting was back when it was just two men fighting in front of their little hut or fighting in front of their people, their family, their tribe. And people be able to watch and see it. It's a beautiful thing. You know what? If there was a big giant circle, right? And circle was divided up into 4 squares. One was basketball, one was football, the one was baseball, and the last one was boxing, right? It's a big circle, and there's people walking around in this circle. Where do all the people go?
A fight.
Boxing.
Fight,
because it's in people that are drawn to it. So why not be able to do the same in just real life? People are drawn to go watch fights. I mean, since the beginning of the time, man, and we've been fighting, whether it's for freedom, for land, whatever the case is. It's just in us, and we're attracted to it. So I want to fight for the people. I'm not saying I want to fight for free. No, because I don't fight for fun. Put my life on the line. But give people the opportunity to don't see big fights, you know. And I think that'd be great. Hometown, maybe. Be in a third world country, I don't care. Give people the opportunity. Something people will remember for the rest of their life. I guarantee you, people remember the Thriller Manila, or the Rumble in the Jungle, or big fights like that. You know, Alexis Guel's fights, just being there one time.
It's interesting that you say that because you're thinking about the opportunity about having people watch your fights, right? But you're in the zone, right, where it's now more like affordable now.
Absolutely.
What's your opinion on that?
I feel bad for HBO because it created like a monopoly where they can't compete with that anymore. But in the same, it's a blessing, man. Like I said, usually if I just fought and would have said what I said after the fight about mental illness and, you know, my voice wouldn't be heard. But now I'm on an international level, on a platform to speak to people all across the world. Even though I may not ever see them or hear them, they'll hear me. And, you know, be able to be like, damn, they're talking to me. Same way you hear songs and you like the lyrics, like, man, he's talking to me. But to be in that position and, you know, tell little boys, little girls, people across the world, it's okay not to feel like you're okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be outcast. It's okay to be lonesome and a loner. But what it's not okay to do is not to talk about it. Like, excuse my language, my mother always told me, son, it's okay if you feel like you're fucked up or something's wrong with you. It's okay to be fucked up. But what it's not okay to do is it's not okay to not talk about it. It's not okay to make yourself feel bad about it. It's not okay to bury yourself underneath your flaws and you being different and, you know, the L's you took in life and your failures. That's not okay. So to be on a platform and say that, that's great. I love the fact people can watch me box. That's beautiful. That's great. Make money, blah, blah, blah. But on a bigger form, you know, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys if it wasn't for that.
It was,
Like
it's true.
Like I thank DAZN all the time. You know, people say, I thank DAZN and thank Matchroom. No, I tell DAZN, thank you for letting me be able to fulfill, you know, say my prophecy, but my vocation, my purpose. It's not fighting. It's what I do after I get out the ring. Bring attention to the real fighters. People fighting mental illness, fighting on a daily basis. People fighting a battle called life. And people lose that battle every day. But I think,
dude, thank you for being the one to like displace the attention to yourself to this cause. Because if you would have just had an interview about yourself, it would have, you know, it wouldn't have blown up the way it did, and we would have never met you. And
it's, hey man, everything happens in due time. And my mother said it's the unspoken thing in between two people that people won't speak on because of either emotion or politics or what's cool, what's not cool, or emotions or respect. But that shit don't exist for me. If I got something to say, I'm gonna say it, whether you want to hear it or not. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna say it. It's gonna ring bells. It's gonna make noise. But I know I'm saying it with a purpose and for a reason. And if I don't say it, who the hell gonna say it?
True.
No, I can't eat for you or speak for you. You can't do the same for me. So I gotta do it while I can do it. And I'm about to be fighting, I feel like, a lot this next year. I'm about to be pretty busy. But I want to be busy because, I mean, as long as I'm living, I'm breathing, my limbs is good, I'm young, I'm gonna get it, man. Because there's no telling I can not wake up tomorrow. I can fall off the stairs, break my legs. Anything can happen. You know, nothing's promised. So I'm going to get it while I can.
When you find out the day that you're fighting, you're going to post it on your Instagram, bro?
No, I'm going to call you Christian, brother Christian. We're going to have a team prayer.
Because we're taking a Euro trip and we like want to plan around it.
Oh, no, bro.
We'll see your fights.
My fight had Chicago. Actually, Eddie Hearns, he gave me a bus to pack all my kids with in my boxing gym to drive them to Chicago out of Indiana. So Eddie does really well as far as with the tickets and stuff. Every time I have an international fight, I get extra tickets where if I got homies out there. So that's what I'm going to take care of all you, except for Jimmy. He can stay here. But, yeah, man, I got you guys. Believe it. The media passes, all that, you know, get you guys back there because, like I said, when one person gets blessed, you know, you bless others. Yeah. So
do you think your next fight is in the States and in Europe or?
Come again?
Do you know, like, kind of where your next fight is it going to be in the States or in Europe?
Excuse me. I'm kidding. No, I don't, man. Like I said, I'm in negotiations right now with Eddie. We're working on some stuff I can't say because I told you. I have to kill Jimmy.
Hey, do it for the show.
That's right. But no, as soon as I find out, you know, I'll let you guys know. Like Instagram and stuff, you know, I always post that. But you guys are like family, except for the guy staring at me by the door.
He's all right.
I don't trust him, man.
You don't trust him?
We don't trust him.
He got that thick ass Sanchez mustache with no facial hair. It's creepy.
That's Jimmy's older brother.
He has 3 eyebrows. Jimmy.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that's my brother. So
damn.
He's probably looking at you.
You probably look at me like, damn fool, his eyebrows thick as mine.
All you do is smile. Look at it.
Yeah, that's the ones you watch out for. He's not no good kid. That's what they say about crazy people.
The quiet ones, right?
Tommy killed 4 people. He's a good kid.
Did it for a good cause. It needed to be done.
I don't understand. He's a good kid. Like, no, he's not.
He killed 4.
Yeah.
Could have been 5.
Yeah. He's good. He's a good kid, I tell you. He just has a hard time. Okay.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about the idea of probably pay-per-view dying?
The idea of it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't know your history repeats itself. So you go back before this pay-per-view, that was a time where boxing was just flourishing. So that's fine. I mean, in order for things to grow, it has to break down dynasties. You know, have to crumble to be rebuilt, or to have a rebuild. So I think it's cool, man. Like I said, it's just starting over. You got to start from scratch. I was always told if you want to build a solid foundation, you can't build it in sand because it'll get washed away.
Right.
You got to build it on concrete and build it to be sturdy so it can withstand the storm. So we got to build this shit back up. We want the big, following like we want back in the day boxing where people felt like they was with the boxers, glued to the TV. You know, go out and support the boxers, follow them, run down the street with them. That type of shit. If you want that, then that's how you got to do it. Just bare minimum, straight funk, just boxing. But that also is with the boxers. You got to make the people want to see you, want to speak to you, want to be around you. You can't have that bad guy persona. I'm just that cocky. You can't be like that. And I hate to say it, but if I don't say, who the hell will? Majority of fighters like that or minorities, black fighters. Hispanic fighters, you're loved by your country, your countrymen. You're respected, majority of them. White fighters, any of them that's left, the ones in UK, they're loved by their country. Black fighters, they were loved by majority, some, if some. But that personality, you got to think of it. A lot of people watching your fights as kids and elderly. It's not everybody your age group. So what looks good to you and the people your age don't look good to the rest of the people. That bad guy persona, sagging your pants, this, that. Nobody want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's people get tired of the same old shit. And that's all the fighters doing. We're dressing the same, talking the same, doing the same old shit. And that's to anybody listening, boxing-wise, and even in this world. You got to stop it, man.
So when you see Adrian Broner, what goes through your mind?
Adrian Broner, I said, I'm not judgmental at all. And you're going to be like, that's very contradicting. No, I'm not going to judge you for what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to tell you what it is. So I'm not going to look at you and say you look stupid or ignorant for for sagging your pants and how you talking and cussing on TV because kids are listening. And kids want to be like you and they might go and do the same thing. I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm going to tell you, look, man, this world needs a positive influence. If you can't do it, then sit the hell down. Because you're influencing one way or another way you think you are. I got fighters right now in my own gym. Want to be gangbangers, wear all red. Want to wear a whole bunch of chains. Why you doing that? Bronner do it. Sag their pants. Why you do it? Bronner do it. Why you flicking off the camera in your interview? Bronner do it. You understand? Somebody's always watching. That's why me, I may cuss and stuff here, but I try to be on my best behavior, man, and just be positive because people's watching. And what you do is contagious when you have influence, whether that's good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So with Bronner and Errol Spence and Javante Davis and the Charlotte Twins, I ain't gonna tell you what to do and what not to do because you're a grown ass man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you what you should do, what you could possibly do, because of who the hell is watching you.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
The next generation. And the next generation is only as great as the current generation because we're creating the next generation.
Yeah.
And they're basically just a ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
So what we create, shit.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, we talk about it here with Shakur Stevenson hanging out with Broner. We're like, man, he shouldn't be hanging out with them.
No, man. Like I said,
Bronner can't take a loss.
Mm.
When he lose, he loses his mind.
Yeah.
He start cussing and
Acting crazy.
Yeah.
I was always told birds of the same feather flock together.
But when you was winning,
Right.
you was
Talking all that.
talking great.
Yeah.
But now when the other shoe was on the other foot, you done lost, got knocked out, knocked down, you got embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You want to degrade your people after that, all of that.
It's
I don't
cool,
like
man.
him
It's
anymore.
just a wave, man. It's what they all doing, whether it's their
I used to
haircuts,
love
and
him.
the jewelry, or how they dress, and whatever the case is. And I'm not hating on it because I could do the same thing if I wanted to. Go change this, go change that. But it's just I was brought up different. I think the main thing it is, a lot of fighters would be different if they had OGs in their life, and they don't.
Yeah.
OGs would tell you, hey man, don't do that shit. You look ignorant. I look stupid. Don't wear them tight ass pants. Don't wear a choker chain. Chokers is for females.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't get on social media or TV and give a middle finger and cuss people and try to embarrass them and acting all crazy. That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a legacy. You speaking for your people. OGs will tell you when, hey, getting out of hand. You need to cut back on that. You going out too much. You spending too much money on this. Sit your ass down and chill. They don't have OGs, and if they do, they don't respect them. So I think it goes both ways. Part of it's not respecting authority, which that comes up in the household. And the second part is OGs not playing their part because they feel like it's not your fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, it takes a village to raise a child. Even if it ain't your child, you better say some shit. Hey, make
Because
it.
a lot of them don't care. It's
No.
about the money.
Yeah.
They into it for the fame. They not. It's not your best interest.
You know how many ass whoopings I got from people that wasn't my parents?
They really gonna let you do what you want to do.
I got so many ass whoopings from people that wasn't my parents. For real.
Yeah.
Real ass whoopings, like with a belt.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. And a lot of times I feel like adults now, older than us, they feel like it's not their job. But it is your job. Because all there's going to be a ripple effect. They're getting away with being disrespectful, not respecting authority, doing what the hell they want to do. And then you wonder why kids are the way they are. They see these people not expecting authority, so shit, I'm not going to do it either.
Yeah.
I see him sagging his pants and gang banging and doing this, and I'm going to do the same thing.
How do you see the outcome of this Pacquiao and Broner fight? What's going to be the outcome for Broner at the end?
Knockout.
Everybody thinks Broner's going to be knocked out. Man, like I said, I hate to say it.
Run his way to victory.
It all comes down to it all comes down to one punch, but it really comes down to who prepared for this fight, legit. Now Broner can say he's focused, this and that, but you pay the price in the gym. You win or lose the fight in the gym, and you know whether you're winning or losing it while you're training.
Broner's gonna lose because he don't throw enough punches.
Yeah, I mean that whole tough guy macho act that he does, he don't throw enough punches. He waits. Pacquiao. Pacquiao, I feel like he always shows up whether he gets knocked out or what's the case. It just depends on what Pacquiao shows up and what Broner shows up. Same way with Fury and Wilder.
Broner don't throw enough punches.
Yeah,
period.
he doesn't lay his hands up.
He don't. And we're gonna see. I mean,
he's gonna lose the fight.
This ain't basketball and football. It's not.
Why do you think he doesn't throw more punches?
Ever since he got beat up, he lost his confidence. He's scared to throw punches back. He's scared he's gonna get knocked out.
He's scared to be embarrassed.
I feel like he just
don't
wants
want to be embarrassed no more.
He just wants to do what he wants to do because.
A lot of fighters can't come back after that first loss. I don't care what you say. Some fighters is messed up after they first loss.
This generation
after they first
mostly.
loss,
yeah,
they never the same again.
But you
got some strong fighters that can come back after that first loss, but the majority of them can't.
You know what all starts at? In the household, how you're brought up. Our generation, majority of us, we talk. If you don't like some shit, quit, dust it off. Fuck it.
Sugar Ray Leonard messed up a whole lot of fighters.
What?
Yes.
How?
Whooped the Benitez. He whooped on him. He never came back.
You talking about that way? Yeah.
Once, like I said, once you whoop on somebody, that's good.
They take something from you
It takes
mentally.
a lot of from you mentally.
You fold easier.
Easier.
Not only that, it makes you doubt your existence, man. To be honest, like,
Damn.
what am I doing? In boxing, you gotta be at peace.
And you see what?
That's true.
Look at Broner. He got beat so bad. Every fight now he fight what a 2 minute less than a minute around.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
throw
that's true.
15 punches around.
Yeah.
You punch drunk, partner.
You punch drunk, it's just
Yeah.
you ain't got it no more.
Yeah, you got the sparring syndrome.
Yeah,
The
sparring
man knocked
syndrome.
the sparring syndrome in you.
Sparring syndrome's the biggest thing. You gotta take chances, man. If the people want to come and watch you, you know,
What's the sparring syndrome?
sparring syndrome is where you hold your punches, you act like a sparring partner.
That's it.
Yeah.
You treat when you get in the ring, you just like you sparring. You're not even trying to really go at it.
You know.
You're just going through it.
But he's right. A lot of fighters don't come back from losing on a big level.
Yeah.
And that comes with the generation. Older generations, our OGs, he's raised a tough way.
Little tough,
You know,
yeah.
How many of them lost and came back to the top already?
not that I know of.
This
I mean,
first this loss they gave Triple G. You see how much it affect him.
Yeah.
You watch what I tell
but
you.
Chocolatito,
It's gonna affect them when they get their first loss.
Kovalev.
Oh yeah, Kovalev.
He's done.
Yeah.
Only person to come back.
He's
I
fried
come back
chicken.
is Pacquiao. I seen Pacquiao. Come back.
Pacquiao, he's strong. You got, like I said, you got to be real strong.
That's where he grew up, right?
No,
in the
he's
head.
juicing, bro. You tell me who come from 106 is a full-fledged welterweight knocking big welterweights out. I ain't never heard of no
Yeah.
shit like that in my life. What?
And a person like Canelo, he lost, but he came back strong.
That's because he's a gringo.
It don't matter what he is, he came back strong.
Yeah, but
That
you,
mind.
you don't hear about people losing the world titles anymore and getting them back. Like I said, my coach, he lost his. He's a 3-time light heavyweight champion, which means he lost it and got it back 3 times. He's an old man. The
I'll
last
give
time
you
he got
another
it.
example.
Go ahead, preach. Brother,
Roy
preach.
Jones.
Roy Jones, yeah. It wasn't the same.
Once Tarver knocked him
Yep.
out,
Mm-hmm.
he was being able to knock. As soon as they hit him, they knock him out.
Yeah, but you know that.
From the, it was over with.
Yeah.
It was over with.
Not only that, not
Tyson,
only
too.
do you lose piece of yourself, but
Tyson.
it's you get exposed.
Yeah.
That comes with being a one-trick pony. Every great fighter had something to make them special, whether it's power or speed. And you had some that had everything.
I love
Ali,
Roy.
Sugar Ray Leonard, they had all. They could box, they could fight inside. But some fighters can only fight outside. Roy Jones, never really saw him fight inside. James Toney, he could do it all. Inside, outside, slick, left and right. Mike McCollum, inside, outside, left and right. Tito, inside, outside. Some great fighters, they have all those. But then you have the fighters that got knocked out, didn't come back, is because they was one-trick ponies. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Who else? One-trick ponies, didn't come back. I can't even think of that right
It's
now.
kind of like when you lose, like that blueprint's already out there for others to use.
The blueprint, you're not coming back.
Tommy
Yeah.
Hearns,
Tommy Hearns, yeah.
you know, they said Benavidez. Some people they can't come back from it because once somebody got your car, man, they got your car.
No, the difference is you're not as good as you
Used to be too.
used to be.
Mm.
Only a special fighter steps up after being knocked out, and he can come back and win that title and not lose.
You got to be at peace with yourself.
It's only a handful.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, on the second fight of Triple G and Canelo, what was your outcome of that? Did you have Canelo winning or Triple G winning?
I had Triple G losing
Okay.
because he's the harder puncher. He's supposed to be the knockout king, and you got your ass backed up the whole
Yeah.
fight.
Do you think
You
what
had track shoes on, so I'll take it from you right off top.
do you think what happened in the first fight played a huge role as far as like him actually having the decision going into the second fight?
The first fight, my boy lost. Canelo lost.
The first one, yeah, I agree.
Second fight, he totally won that one. So that messed him up. So
Yeah.
he's done. Triple G's done. It's in his head now. If he can't knock you out, he might lose by decision.
And his legs are gone.
Yeah.
So you see that plays a lot.
His legs look like
Mine.
how Forrest Gump's legs look when he had the metal things on. That's how he was fighting. It's like he's just.
To me, it's
And
the
then
weight.
Vegas took the juice out of him,
Yeah.
so he couldn't hurt Canelo. After once he couldn't
Yes.
juice up, he couldn't hurt him.
Now it's time to ask a controversial question.
Yeah, to me, it's the way he lost. You know, they asked for the type of style they wanted Canelo to fight him, and he did, and he obliged, and he beat him up with that style.
Yeah.
You know,
Go
you
ahead.
ask-
No, I ain't gonna ask one. You guys ask the best questions. Usually you ask me some shit that I want to answer, but I have to.
deep questions over there, Chris.
Yeah, but I'm about to go outside and find out what car you driving and follow you home.
You think it's easy, Anthony, for people to get away with using some sort of illegal supplements in the sport of boxing?
Mm.
I hate to say it, man, but with the right amount of money,
Yeah.
anything's possible.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad, ain't nothing you can do. the fight for good and evil is always going to be around, especially in boxing. I feel like it's very easy. Like I said, boxing is all politics and it's money.
All right, what happens if you get to that stage where judges are
We're going to pay the
handing you
judge
fights?
off.
Oh, I'm
Just like they've been doing, paying the damn judges, because some of the judges can't see worth shit.
Look,
like, we'll take
I'm
it.
gonna be honest though. If I get to a stage like that and some shit happened to me, like what happened to Margarito and
Cotto.
Cotto, or Benavidez, people getting coked up or doped up,
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn that shit upside down, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, somebody gotta pay. If you playing my life, you cheating.
Yeah.
If I go hands up, blow for blow, why can't you do the same?
Mm.
A lot of people cheating, enhancements, losing weights, all that. Like, hey, if it's that deep, you gotta cheat. Don't do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
But this is the judges. We can't do nothing about
the judges. I thought you talking about people. He said people
Doping. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
At what point can you
I was
start?
asking about judges.
Oh,
But he had a good answer.
You said judges. What?
I was gonna ask. At what point can you start asking for, VADA testing for your opponent?
Any point. If you would think they're doing something.
Mm.
You know how many times I do piss tests, man? It's crazy.
Can I ask you, what are some advantages that boxers can do besides not selecting the judges, but also like picking different types of gloves, any type of stuff like that that can affect your mindset going into the fight?
Well, as far as like, were you feeling more certain about the fight?
No, I'm talking about like the A side telling the B side, or you're gonna be using these type of gloves, such and such, all that other
Mental
stuff.
games and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, things you can do to fuck with somebody else?
Yep.
Or them with you.
Oh yeah, you can
Make
go over
'em
there.
rewrap
A
their
lot, yeah. A
hands.
lot of times they make you wrap your hands. You end up wrapping them 2 or 3 times.
Mm.
But that, or type of gloves or the pad, and I feel like there's something in the gloves, or be just back there fucking with you, just talking to you. Really, but you have somebody with you that ain't going for that. Like Frog Dogg, people they walk past and they won't even look at me because of him. He look all nice and friendly now.
Yeah.
But Frog ain't one to fuck with. So usually you have somebody with you that they know you ain't playing them games. So they ain't
Yeah.
going for it.
Yeah, you're Nassim Richardson right here, right?
And man, I got all the Compton with me when I go to the ring. Because Frog goes right there. Any situation I have, I used to have issues all the time in fights. People talking shit, doing this. They don't no more. Had one person do that ringside, and I didn't see him for the rest of the fight. And I was scared to ask Frog where he went.
Whoa.
And I still ain't asked him, and I'm not going to ask him.
All right, let me ask. No, I'm just kidding. You got any shout-outs, Frog Dogg? Any shout-outs to anybody?
Yeah, I got to shout out to my homeboy.
Yeah,
Rest
yeah.
in peace, man. Passed last night. Jerry White. Give a shout out to you.
Yeah.
Much love, homie. Big Frog all day.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up Frog Dogg. He told me about that, and he's helped me get through, man, many losses. I was like, come on, Frog. He wanted to go to the gym. I'm like, we ain't going to the gym today. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to get some haircuts. We're going to go and talk boxing and politics and life, and we're going to go skating, man.
Hey.
Yeah, we're going to beat the shit out of the gym in the parking lot.
That's not my name, dog.
I know, I'm not about to say your actual name.
I like Jim. That sounds cool.
Okay, Jim.
We're getting there to the finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of shout outs, I do want to give a shout out to somebody. It's ironic that you talk about the death of somebody. My friend Stephen Bowens and Wendy Bowens just gave birth to a child just last night. So
That's crazy,
shout out.
man.
Shout out to them.
When one life leaves, another one comes in.
Yeah, just last night. So
Yeah.
I know they're listening to this right now. So I'm looking forward to them seeing them sometime this month.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people dealing with life, man, in all different angles and aspects. The greatest battles in life aren't won overnight. So you gotta keep on fighting on. Like I say, tough times don't last long, but tough people do.
Yeah.
And if you want to do some shit, do it. I don't mean that in a negative manner. Like don't do no crazy shit and be like, I did it because Anthony said do it. No. But it sounds cheesy. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. It sounds cheesy as hell. But if you believe it, you imagine it, you become consumed with it, you'll become it, and you can do it. All right? So go do the goddamn thing.
Hey, there you go.
I got that from Frog Dogg in the house. You dig?
You have to dig.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
yeah.
Oh, you went too far, Jimmy.
Gio.
I'm Jimmy.
He looks
You
like a
Jimmy
Jimmy,
now?
don't he?
This is Jimmy signing out.
He's like a Jimmy Mendoza.
That was Antonio Simon with us.
It's Antonio Montana
Simon.
Morales. No me diga que no, Rodriguez. That's me, baby. Tú sabes.
You picked up some dance moves in Puerto Rico, Anthony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some reggaeton.
Damn.
No.
Hey.
Actually, I met this Dominican.
Hey.
I learned my bachata.
You're like, so Cubano.
Romeo Santos. Huh?
No.
You said what? I'm drinking.
You lied.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
We're gonna edit it out.
She know.
We got
Yes.
you, man. We got you.
I saw some Baricuas when I was
Hey.
running on the track. Yeah, and man, I got closer to him. I was like, damn. She got a mustache just like mine. What's your name? So I was like, what's your name? She was like, Gabrielle. I was like,
Shit.
I was like, shit, your name.
I gotta edit that out for
your
sure.
name, your name is Gabe. What you mean?
Alright, any last words?
Brother Christian, you lead us in prayer.
Padre nuestro.
No, really, I'm serious, bro. Okay, I'll pray. Bow your head. Jimmy and God by the door. God, you bless us all as a whole. Thank you for bringing us here together from different backgrounds and different parts of this world. I ask that we just continue to just preach what you put inside of us. Talk about politics and life and just sharing our testimony and our story. I ask that you bless us each individually, spiritually, physically, mentally, in any what way we need. And I ask that we continue to reach one, teach one, and make this world a better place, person by person, step by step, breath by breath. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I guess quick shout out to KDHR for
Yeah.
giving us the space.
Tell them I say what's happening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, against the ropes.